Made in China? It's a piece of China fucking crap!
Hey everybody, like 2 months ago we watched Mile 22, starring Mark Wahlberg as secret agent guy. So Aiden, what's the plot of Mile 22?
Mile 22 is about Mark Wahlberg being a secret agent, and there's a guy, he's in a country that is really shitty, and there's a guy who betrays the government in order to get a secret computer chip that only he can unlock to America, and Mark Wahlberg has to drive him there with his friends, and by his friends I mean the girl from Resident Evil and a bunch of cannon fodder. And then they drive and they get shot at, and they drive and they get shot at. Yep, so Connor, what'd you think of Mile 22?
I thought Mile 22 was a pretty decent action movie. It had a lot of talking and like plot setup, which is kind of surprising. I figured since it was a Mark Wahlberg action movie, it would be like them going and shooting people. But after like the first 45 minutes, it actually got pretty down to business. There's a lot of like action scenes. I thought the Asian guy who was like a triple agent, like at first he was like pretending to be part of this corrupt Middle Eastern government.
Asian.
And then he left that government and joined the Americans, but then it turned out he was part of a secret organization. I don't remember what fucking organization he was part of. Some fucking organization that killed all of Mark Wahlberg's guys. Spoiler alert. But he did some cool scene where like these assassins came in and tried to kill him, so he killed all the assassins. And I thought a lot of the action pretty well done. It's pretty neat little, I would almost call it like a secret agent horror movie. And it was pretty cool. It was a pretty neat movie. The choreography was pretty decent, and what I meant to say was cinematography and shooting was all fairly decent. For some reason the shooting, like the shot composition and shit, was a lot cooler in the actual fight scenes, where in the exposition scenes with like the government and shit, it was kind of bland, kind of boring. I didn't really care about the exposition. I didn't care about the secret MacGuffin bomb that was gonna blow up, blah blah blah. It was kind of just a movie chasing the MacGuffin, but the Asian guy had the MacGuffin, so it was really protect the Asian guy more so than a MacGuffin hunt movie or a MacGuffin protection movie. But yeah, it was okay. Mark Wahlberg did an alright job. Didn't really bash the heads of any Vietnam people, and was pretty Vietnam fucking shit.
He killed a bunch of Vietnam fucking shits. All he did was drive around and kill the Vietnamese.
They weren't Vietnamese, they were like Middle Eastern Asian people for some reason.
There was some other kind of Asian, but they weren't not Asian.
Are Taiwanese people the Middle Eastern Asians? You know what I'm saying?
No, Taiwanese are the Mexicans of the Asians.
Oh yeah. Okay, fair enough. Well, Aiden, what did you think of this Mile 22 movie?
It was alright. There was elements I liked, like the karate fight scene in the hospital. I think the movie kind of dragged a little bit. Like, specifically, what I mean is, like, the movie was all kind of just one thing. Like, they had all the exposition at the start, and then they just, like, it was just, like, one continuous action scene. And they had, like, that MMA girl who lost really bad, and then tried to kill herself. Yeah, they had her in there, and she can't act for shit.
No, it's really fun.
And they had the girl from the Resident Evil movies, and she can't act for shit. Marky Wahlberg didn't beat any Asians over the head with a stick. He did shoot them with guns, though. Some of the action was pretty good, but it kind of just felt repetitive, where it was like they're driving a car, and then the car they're in blows up, and they get out, and then they shoot some people, then they get in a different car, and then that one blows up. Like, they just kept going through this, like, loop, and the movie felt like it could have been trimmed down a little bit, maybe. Like, maybe take out the loop of them getting a new car 1 or 2 times, make it a little bit briefer. But I think overall the movie's fairly competently made, and I think it's kind of an interesting story, even if the triple betrayal thing is kind of a little bit too obvious, I think. Like, there wasn't a point in the movie where I'm like, oh, this Asian guy's a good guy. The dude had nuclear codes on his person, you know? Like, obviously he's gonna betray him.
Yeah, I mean, they also kind of set up this little theme where they all have their own take, where, like, the Asian guy was, like, touching out his fingers, and Mark Wahlberg was snapping his little bracelet. And I know, like, the snapping the bracelet was, like, Mark Wahlberg's anger check, but at first I thought they were going to kind of do something with the Asian guy. Maybe if I watched it a second time, it'd feel like when he's, like, touching his fingers, he's lying or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's something to repeat.
I don't know.
That kind of never went anywhere. I mean, I guess I don't really need them to lay it out and explain it, but this movie doesn't feel like it's good enough to have a replay value, or I kind of want to figure out what that shit was about, but I'm sure the one fan on planet Earth, he's like, I need to watch Mile 22 a million times. It wasn't a forgettable ass movie. I'm sure he could tell me.
It was pretty much slightly above average movie for me, I guess. I don't know. I like watching Mark Wahlberg run around and kill Asian people because I like when art reflects reality, you know?
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg's like the slightly worse Rock. He'll take any movie he gets. He makes like 40 movies a year. You gotta at least slightly enjoy his movies. He's really regarded as an actor.
Yeah, but The Rock has charisma, and Marky Mark just kind of seems like a dickbag.
He's kind of like Ben Affleck, where he only plays one character.
Yeah.
He's kind of he does that same thing. Mark Wahlberg just plays Mark Wahlberg and everything. I guess The Rock does the same thing, but Mark Wahlberg is not as interesting as The Rock, not as good of a performer. The Rock's not a good actor, but he's a great performer.
Yeah, The Rock is just fun to watch do things.
But yeah. When are we getting a new Rock movie? It's been about 2 months.
Let me look. I actually have the page for all the things I need to edit open so I can get to Dwayne Johnson real fast here.
Power is the last one he did.
Dwayne Johnson filmography. Blah, 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 blah.
I know he's doing Black Adam. That shit's apparently announced. Like the Shazam spinoff starting to
He's in a movie called... He's in 2019, early 2019, he's in a movie called Fighting With My Family that's like a WWE biopic.
Is that the next movie then?
That's the next one he's in, yeah. And then he's an executive producer on Shazam, but he probably won't appear in it. And then
no, they'll probably tease him at the end if they're actually doing a Black Adam spinoff, knowing the DCEU. They're at least going to plant seeds, and I can just imagine after the credits, The Rock is sitting there like,
holy fuck,
moving around.
And then after that,
he probably should have up to set like 1 or 2 times.
After that, he's in Hobbs and Shaw, which is a spin-off of The Fast and Furious, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham.
I thought they were like feuding over something.
Well, I mean, they might be, but August 2nd, 2019, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Jason Statham star in a Fast and Furious spin-off with Idris Elba as the fucking villain.
Wait, what month is that coming out?
August 2019.
That's beautiful, Dino. And you know there's at least like 3 Rock movies in the year that haven't been announced yet.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't believe it's that much airtime. Like, you know he's gonna have like 2 in the summer that either been announced with no tentative release date or
for
literally nothing announced.
October 2019, he has one Jungle Cruise, which is based on the Disney theme park attraction Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, I fucking heard about that.
Which
It
is
must be kind of like
strange.
their third attempt at doing Pirates of the Caribbean. Because they did Pirates of the Caribbean, that one worked out, for based on the Disney ride. Then they made fucking Nightmare House or whatever the fuck, what's that shit called? With Eddie Murphy. You know, Haunted House, Spooky Palace, I don't know.
The Haunted Mansion?
The Haunted Mansion. And then they did Tomorrowland. And now they're doing this one. So it's kind of weird. Disney keeps trying, but they keep failing to make their second Pirates of the Caribbean. But The Rock does have charisma, so I guess he can do a second Jumanji franchise at the same time. How many active franchises is Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Fast and the Furious, Shazam, Jumanji's definitely getting a sequel 2020.
Jumanji already has an announced sequel, it's just not in production yet, apparently.
That one's probably coming out.
Ballers is supposed to get another season, apparently.
Ballers is apparently a popular show.
Season 5. Rampage made a shit ton of money, so it'll probably get a sequel.
What will?
Rampage. Moana
Is it
might.
projecting they took a sequel? Did that movie make any money?
Rampage?
Yeah.
Yeah, it made a bunch. $500 million.
Yeah. The Rock can really push a franchise.
Also, I was reading about it today while we were watching the movie, but apparently G.I. Joe is getting not one, but multiple sequels.
That's all canceled.
It's not officially canceled.
It's not officially canceled.
In May 2018, the hashtag show reported the film will be titled G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant.
In July?
It was announced in May that the movie was called G.I. Joe Ever Vigilant and it had come out 2020. It's currently scheduled to be released March 27th, 2020.
Is that trying to rock, or have they not announced it yet? Because I thought they were... Originally the plan was to reboot G.I. Joe.
They're trying to get The Rock back, but if they can't, they'll just go with all these other weird people that they have.
God damn it. The Rock goes away, it's double paid on...
Also in May 2018, Paramount announced a film centered around Snake Eyes.
Not impressed. July 2018? I'm actually kind of surprised. I think Paramount's starting to put their eggs in the fucking G.I. Joe basket, because their original plan was to connect, like, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Ron Space Knight, Action Man.
Yeah, I know. I read about all that shit.
Hasbro franchise. But I think they're probably like, wow, this is actually really fucking stupid, so we won't do it. Paramount would be smart not even to try a cinematic universe. I don't think they have officially tried one yet. I mean, kind of Transformers now, because Transformers is having like Bumblebee and shit, so I guess that's kind of a cinematic universe now, but that's more of just a spin-off, prequel type deal. I guess that's considered a cinematic universe now.
And then they got Bumblebee.
Anyway, let's get back to the topic.
They got Bumblebee pretty much rebooting the Transformers shit.
Well, it's a direct prequel. But they might do what X-Men does, where they do
but it retcons a bunch of shit. Like in the first,
I'm sure they will.
In the first Transformers movie, Bumblebee literally, you watch Bumblebee land on Earth in 2009.
No, in the start of the movie, he's that 1970s Camaro. Flew ahead. I watched. Okay, so back in the day, if you bought the deluxe edition DVD of Transformers, it came with a cartoon where Bumblebee lands in the 70s and takes car form and comes bringing that.
But also didn't Transformers 5 confirm that Bumblebee like fought the Nazis or something too?
But I think somebody fought the Nazis. They're like Transformers.
I'm pretty sure it was Bumblebee.
Yeah, I probably think at some point something probably knocked that fucking cartoon out of canon. I haven't seen it since 2007. The France actually had the deluxe edition, like an Optimus Prime head case, I believe. Like it's like some weird plastic case.
Okay, yeah. So Bumblebee and Hot Rod fought the Nazis in World War II, according to Transformers 5.
Bumblebee and Hot Rod.
Bumblebee and Hot Rod were friends, and they fought the Nazis in World War II.
What the fuck is Hot Rod? Hot Rod? Why would they raise Hot Rod?
Do you remember that scene at the end of Transformers 1 when Bumblebee gets his voice fixed, and then they're like, nah, fam?
Yeah, I don't know what that fucking... No, was that like the start of the movie, remember? Sam's like, here's this.
That's the last scene where he's like, hello, Sam, I can finally talk again. And then in Transformers 2, he just can't.
I like how... Who do you think's gonna do... Do you think Optimus Prime's gonna show up and do the dramatic voiceover at the end of Bumblebee, where he'll just show up out of nowhere and be like...
The Wikipedia
page... Autobot.
Wikipedia.
Done one every fucking movie.
The Wikipedia page says Optimus Prime is gonna...
Transformers are spread around the world. It's like, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, I can't believe Bumblebee fought the Nazis. That's pretty funny. How does no one know about the Transformers? Like, none of the Nazis, like, not one of them survived and, like, saw from a long distance away and was like, yes, there's this Transformers fucking war. And how the fuck do you get over to Nazi Germany and pick sides? I'm so confused. That's so stupid. Transformers. We should go through and review all the Transformers movies. That's my vote.
Yeah, we should.
Because I think the Transformer movies, I haven't watched any of the Transformers movies in the past.
It's been a long time for me, too.
Number 4 I hadn't seen since it was released. Number 3 I probably hadn't seen since the year after it was released.
We can
probably the last time I saw Revenge of the Fallen.
We can start today if you really want.
Oh my lord, maybe we will. Cause I got
we'll figure it out. But anyway, we should talk about this. Would you recommend Mile 22?
I mean, is that a theaters now? We have no power so long. So we haven't really had time. I mean, it's not theaters anymore, so I kind of recommend it from Redbox because I'm sure it's on its way to Redbox. It's not Yeah, I guess kind of. If you're like looking for something in Redbox, and you're like, I've seen like every fucking Redbox. No, not every fucking. I mean, if you see it in Redbox, and you're interested in like a military, I want to like compare it to like 13 Hours and like American Sniper and all that garbage. Not really. Yeah, kind of in the vein of those movies. Not all based on a true story or anything, but it's like a military drama. So if that's something that kind of interests you, then go ahead. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, would you recommend this movie?
Maybe. I guess light recommend. It's kind of not that great, but it's also not that bad, and it's not anything that I would take as like a first pick or anything, but it's decent-ish. I don't know. Yeah, sure. I would recommend it. Yeah. Why not?